Well, if it continues like this, I think we'll experience the best atmosphere of Euro 2016. There is a fantastic noise around the Stade de France. Every seat is taken, 80,000 people. The Icelandic supporters, they set the tone getting here so early. They were singing, they were clapping, and the French magnificently have joined in. They didn't try to drown out the Iceland supporters, and that's wonderful, and that's what support in this European Championship should be about, not the scenes in Marseille in the opening weekend. Now we gather for the playing of the two national anthems, starting with that of Iceland. Now that is an anthem. The Marseillaise, what a wonderful, wonderful listen. The two teams shake hands with one another. The officials, by the way, are from Holland. Bjorn Kuipers is the referee. He's one of the very best in Europe. Let me run down the two lineups. First of all, France, two changes for them because of suspensions for Kante and Rami. So their team is Lloris in goal. The defence is Sanya, Koscielny, Umtiti and Evra. Then we've got Pogba and Matuidi. Then Sissoko, Griezmann and Payet. And finally, Giroud. Iceland's goalkeeper is Holderson. Their defence from right to left is Sævarsson, Arnason, Ragnar Sigurdsson and Skulason. Then four across midfield, Gudmundsson, the captain Aron Gunnarsson, Gylfi Sigurdsson and Dikir Bjarnason. And then two up front, Björgvarsson and Sigthorsson. The two captains exchange pennants on the halfway line in front of the referee. Lloris, by the way, is captain of France tonight for the 55th time. And that breaks the previous record held by his coach, Didier Deschamps. Iceland will be all in white. France, blue shirts, blue shorts, red socks. Can Iceland do it again, Danny?
I don't know, but it's just something that says they might do. You know, it's such a magnificent atmosphere. French have been unbelievably respectful to their anthem, to their clapping. It's almost like the French have welcomed them in and said, well, just turn up, enjoy yourselves because you're going to go out. This could be a shock. It's a beautiful night for football. Not great for the fans. You know, it drizzling down. The pitch will be very, very slick. This pitch has cut up in the past. France didn't train on it yesterday because of that. They wanted to keep it as fresh as possible. I don't know, there's something that just says, you know, what Leicester have done, what Wales have done. I just think this is going to be tighter than people think.
Weather-wise, it could hardly be worse. It's grey, dismal, damp. Who cares? It may only be a quarter-final, but it's as if tonight, and with due respect to that fantastic win for Wales against Belgium, the European Championship, the climax, begins now. France defending the goal to our left in the first half, and the ball is with Koscielny immediately, and Iceland, their goalkeeper away to our right and over his right shoulder, the majority of the Icelandic fans. I'm glad there's very little crime in Iceland because there must be very few people left in the country at the moment.
I don't think there's anybody left.
It's astonishing.
But it's incredible when you see the camera pan around all their fans. It's a huge... It's a third women, third men and a third children. You know, they've come over in their droves and they've all come over as a family, effectively, of Iceland.
Now, France have a free kick. It's 15 yards over the halfway line to the right of the centre circle. Payet is going to take it right-footed, and Giroud lurks around the edge of the penalty area. Payet still waits. The referee wants him to get on with it. Here he comes, swirls it in right-footed, a header on, but it's wide of goal, and I think the referee had spotted in the fence, a push maybe, and he's given a free kick to Iceland.
Iceland have nothing to lose in this game. You know, they have nothing to lose against England, and look what they did. You know, it sounds wrong, you know, they're just here to enjoy themselves, to enjoy the occasion. Well, they are, and they've said that themselves. They never, ever expected to get this far. I think it was in the last press conference. I think the manager said to one of the journalists, "I hope your travel budget is big enough. You know, we're going to be here for another few days at least." But they can play as well. You know, don't underestimate Iceland. And even though the centre half has just put the ball out of play unnecessarily, nobody moans. Nobody looks at him, throws their arms about and complains or heads drop. They just go, "Oh well, it's a mistake. We'll just go back to what we're doing."
Ball played forward to Griezmann for France, but the Icelandic central defenders look after that, clear the ball to the halfway line. France have it back though. Sissoko took that up, and then it's lost, and it's taken over the halfway line. Then that's a loose pass played in by Gudmundsson from the right hand side, and it runs through to Lloris. And Lloris, prime example of the sweeper keeper, clears it poorly, unfortunately for him, straight out of play, and it's a throw into Iceland. Surely Gunnarsson can't reach the penalty area from here. He's thinking about it, and they're waiting. The white shirts gripping around the edge of the penalty area, but the throw goes infield instead. It goes to Skulason. Skulason chipped it forward into the penalty area. That was a very awkward challenge by Umtiti, the debutant. Ball still in play. Iceland cross it in from the right side, left footed. There's a shot on goal. The first shot on goal directed straight at Lloris. It was played in by Gylfi Sigurdsson.
They will cause France problems. Every single French player retreated when the throw-in was only 15 yards inside the French half. They threw the ball square and then they just lumped it into the box. You know, a high, loopy ball. They will cause France problems, and that's the first shot on target. Goes to Iceland.
Danny, scorn used to be poured on Stoke when they used long throw-ins, yet few defences could cope with them properly.
Exactly. And what was Stoke? Stoke were organised, played 4-4-2, not dissimilar to the way West Brom play. You know, and when they get the opportunity, maybe like Bolton did in the past, you know, with one or two special players in there, they play to their strengths. They're organised, they know their jobs, they get on with it. You know, and yes, if they have to play long, they know that they cannot outplay the French if they try and get the ball down and out past them. It ain't going to happen.
Gunnarsson missed that with that attempted header, but it's cleared by his central defence, and it's now inside the centre circle, and Iceland have the ball on the far side of the field. It's fed on by Björn towards the right side, and Sævarsson, the right full-back, and he chips the ball into the penalty area. It was accurately played, and well, the Icelandic player, it was Gudmundsson who broke it forward. He was onside, couldn't control it.
It was a great little ball over the top, difficult as it was coming over his head, dropping over his shoulder. Tried to bring the ball down, but that's two early threats already from Iceland.
Well, no threat so far from the French. France 0, Iceland 0 here in the Stade de France. It's packed, but they're used to it as well, Iceland, because this is where they beat Austria in the group stages, and that consigned Portugal to a lower place. Iceland, magnificent progress in the European Championship of 2016. Does it end tonight? Throw in to the French on the near side of the field. It was taken by Pogba, now it's played back, and on it goes by Koscielny to Umtiti, taken up by Matuidi just on the halfway line, left of the centre circle. The ball played back by Payet to Umtiti, and Koscielny on once more by France. They've got plenty of players, of course, in the Iceland half, as you would expect. Pogba drives it back, and it goes to the halfway line. Pogba on. Commentators move in front of us, but the French attack continues. And now Payet has the ball in the central position. Plays a 1-2. Payet shoots, saved by the goalkeeper, even though it was at the second attempt.
Decent strike from Payet. Didn't get it as cleanly as maybe he wanted to. Goalkeeper just spilled it for a moment. Griezmann thought he was going to get himself an easy tap in, but goalkeeper did well, reacted, pounced on the loose ball.
Umtiti, soon to be a Barcelona player from Lyon, plays it forward, gets the return ball back from Matuidi, and now it's on the far side of the field. France in possession. They've steadied down. 6 minutes gone. You're listening to 5 Live in the BBC. France 0, Iceland 0. And now Koscielny to the right side, and it's with Sanya. And there's a good 1-2 played, and the ball played in by Sissoko, and the goalkeeper dives in front of Griezmann and gathers the ball very well.
Well, we expect France to have an awful lot of possession. Sissoko, strong, powerful, down this right-hand side. Played an early ball into the box. Only Griezmann in there, and again, goalkeeper very aware, came out and smothered the danger.
Here's Bjarnason back to his full-back, Skulason, but his pass forward wasn't great. Goes out of play off an Icelandic player. It's going to be a throw into France. Just beyond the halfway line, near side of the field. That's the French right in the first half. Sagna of Manchester City throws it back to Koscielny of Arsenal. And Umtiti up to Matuidi. That pass was intercepted. And Iceland come forward now. It's with Bredvarsen into the penalty area. Bredvarsen is being hustled though by two French defenders. Bredvarsen fell over. Play allowed to continue. No, that's a foul on the French player, and it's going to be a free kick for the challenge on Payet.
Payet just steps inside Gunnarsson, who has to be very, very careful. An awful lot of these players, nine players on yellow cards. You know, that would be a huge shame for any of those if they were to get through to miss the semi-final. But Payet was just a little bit too quick, just checked inside him, and Gunnarsson's follow through just tripped him up.
Only Bredvarsen and Ragnar Sigurdsson, the man of the match against England, don't have yellow cards against their names. After the quarterfinals, it doesn't matter, they'll all be wiped out. But you get booked tonight and you've got a yellow card already, you will miss the semi-final. Here's Koscielny, one of only two Frenchmen on that stage. Giroud is the other one. It's with Evra on the far side of the field. Evra drives it long in the direction of Griezmann, comfortably headed away by Arneson. Ball's on the halfway line, France have it back. And again they're trying to feed it through, this time to Giroud, intercepted by Iceland. And Bjarnason plays it to the right side to Sebarsson, the right full-back. Back to Arneson. Arneson now halfway inside his own half, and that clapping ritual of the Icelandic supporters, they're going through it again. It's a magnificent sight, and I don't think it provokes the French. They welcome it. It's part of the atmosphere. Now they're on the attack. The ball's on the edge of the French penalty area, and the shot played in by Bjarnason, but it was always a yard wide.
Another half chance though. Direct ball up to the centre forward, flicks it on, and just maybe snatches at the shot a little bit. Bjarnason didn't quite get hold of it, but that's
three times.
Yeah,
three times.
Three half chances that Iceland have created already.
No inferiority complex from the nation that only has 303,000 citizens. How many footballers does that produce? Not a great many, but they produce a really good unit. And Iceland are doing their country pride here at Euro 2016. Now it's with Sissoko. Sissoko trying to feed it forward towards Sagna, intercepted by Bjarnason, and then drawn back by France. Was that a foul challenge? No, it wasn't, not according to the Dutch referee. He was only awarded a throw-in.
A brilliant challenge by Sigurdsson, the centre-back. Like you said, it was outstanding against England. Made his mind up early, sliding challenge on Sissoko, and then got a little bit fortunate with the rebound as the ball came off Sissoko and went back out for an Iceland throw.
Yeah, which they've rather squandered. Now it's a throw-in to France, taken by Sagna to Giroud. Giroud didn't control it, and Iceland have the ball with Gylfi Sigurdsson. And now it's with Bjarnason down the left side. He's still inside his own half. Plays it back, and Sigurdsson, the other Sigurdsson, Ragnar Sigurdsson, finds a colleague. The ball is cleared now to the centre circle for Iceland. France might win it back. No, they don't. Again, some of the challenges are quite aggressive from both sides, and the referee, interestingly, is allowing them to go. A bit like last night. I thought the referee was never going to produce a yellow card in the Germany-Italy game. It's back now with Arneson of Malmo, and he finds Ragnar Sigurdsson, who's playing in Russia at the moment, but his man of the match displays out here in France are rightly drawing attention from elsewhere in Europe. Now it's chipped forward over the halfway line by Iceland, headed back in by Sagna, on by Pogba. Pogba can't find another blue shirt though, and it's back with Holderson, the Iceland goalkeeper, playing it to Skulason. Skulason was in a little bit of bother there, and wasn't helped out by Gunnarsson. And finally France have possession on the far side of the field. It's 12 minutes gone here in the Stade de France. It's still France 0, Iceland 0. I think the weather is relenting slightly. That was the forecast. We'd have rain up until around about kickoff. We certainly had that. Still heavy dark clouds overhead, but I think the rain has finished for the time being. France on the halfway line. Payet plays it back, fed forward. Giroud's onside into the friend there. Giroud shoots. France in the lead. Emphatic finish from the Arsenal striker. He was put through in the inside left position and he smacked it with his left foot brilliantly, low pass Holderson, and after 12 minutes it's France 1, Iceland 0.
It's a really good finish and an awful lot of time to think about it. Little dink over the top, he broke the offside trap, and then he had 4 or 5 seconds, which is an awful long time, to think about what to do. It was bouncing nicely for him, it sat up and he drove it through the goalkeeper into the far corner. Really good finish from Olivier Giroud. Just got in behind, he's onside, and he looked, saw the keeper. It's a really good finish. The power does the goalkeeper, it's close to him, nothing he can do about it.
Well, Giroud, his place in the French team has been questioned. His place in the Arsenal team is frequently questioned, but that was quite a response. And France, unquestionably the favourites tonight, are in front in the early stages. There's 13 minutes gone. Not as early as England took the lead against Iceland. We saw how Iceland responded then in Nice. So don't be ruling them out just yet.
And they've got a long throw.
Yeah, and Aaron Gunnarsson comes across to the left side. He says to Bjarnason, I'll take this one. And this one's very close to being level with the edge of the French penalty area. Now how will France deal with it? Gunnarsson comes forward, launches the ball into the penalty area. France did well, headed it clear, and then it's headed out by Gylfi Sigurdsson beyond Gunnarsson, and it's going to be a throw into France.
Well, we expected Iceland to capitulate and crumble when England scored very, very early on. I don't think obviously they're going to get back in the game as quickly, but they've just got to stay in the game now, just got to keep their heads. It was France's first real chance, as John Murray said before commentary. Giroud has the opportunity to maybe go on scoring the next round, and really might come to the fore in this competition. But as long as Iceland, they just got to remain in the game, make sure they don't go 2-0 behind.
And TJ over the halfway line, winning his first cap for France. On it goes to Matuidi. Matuidi couldn't control the ball running forward, but France have it again. Griezmann back to Pogba, and now Sagna with Sissoko to his right, and it goes to the Newcastle player into Griezmann, back to Pogba tackled and loses the ball. It's a fair, hard challenge. Pogba trying to win the ball back, and that was a foul challenge surely from Pogba. Yeah, it's a free kick to Iceland. There's nothing wrong with the challenge on the French player, but his response certainly was unfair.
And Born Kuipers has done very, very well. He's been consistent so far. There have been 1 or 2 heavy challenges, but he decided to keep his yellow cards in his pocket for now.
I got the feeling that was the referee's opinion last night before the game. You know, he was determined not to suspend players. In the end, he did suspend players, but we'll talk about that another time. There's the free kick for Iceland. That's overhit. That's easily caught by Lloris. They don't need that. They need better delivery from the free kicks, the set pieces. Most of their goals come from set pieces, Iceland.
Yeah, they do, but they won't panic. They will still have a game plan. They would have talked about this before the game. You know, realistically, they would have said, look, you know, we went 1-0 down against England. There's every likelihood that we might go 1-0 down against France, and if they do, this is the plan, and they will just stick to the same formation, stick to the same philosophy, working on the same things. They won't panic.
Remember, the first semi-final is in Lyon on Wednesday night, 8 o'clock kick-off. That's Wales against Portugal. And then the following evening, John Murray will be in Lyon. The following evening, I'll be in Marseille for Germany against the winners of this one. France lead Iceland 1-0 so far. The ball's inside the centre circle and quickly fed to the left side by Sissoko, who switched flanks. And now it's back towards the halfway line. Payet's dropped very deep. Payet onto Pogba. Pogba to Payet once more, inside left channel. Then he runs into a white jersey challenge. Iceland win the ball, and that looked like another foul. by Pogba, and he's being spoken to. Now, he's not on a yellow card, but that's 2 foul challenges within a space of about 90 seconds. That one, on most evenings, might have provoked a yellow card.
Yeah, slid in on a wet, greasy surface. Don't think he made too much contact with a player, and I think the referee did well to spot that. And she said, look, just calm down a little bit, one more and I will have to brandish you.
See how the enthusiasm of the Iceland supporters has been dampened? that noise in the background is their vocal response to their own clapping ritual. It's fantastic to see.
But it is a cliche, but they are just happy to be here.
They're on their attack now. The ball's played into the penalty, and it's a looping header that heads in the direction of Lloris from Budvarsson, easily caught by Lloris.
Yeah, of course they want to come here and they want to do well and they want to put a show on, but ultimately the players, the fans, they are surprised that they are here, they are delighted that they are here, and they've just got to keep their heads now. They've just got to keep playing. Of course they will still allow France to have the majority of the possession, but at some point they will get their chance. They've just got to make sure they take it.
We've played 17, nearly 18 minutes here in the Stade de France in Paris. France lead Iceland by a 1-0, scored by Giroud half a dozen minutes ago, and a really emphatic finish from the striker. Skullerson, the left back for Iceland, with a throw-in, headed on, then headed away firmly by Koscielny. Ball to the halfway line with Pogba. Pogba's pass was loose, but Iceland give it back to France. Matuidi on to Payet. Payet just dances inside. He's ahead of the centre circle now. Feeds it to the right side, and Sagna to Sissoko. Sanya's available again. Sagna keeps the ball in play, a matter of inches from the near touchline, plays it back to Pogba, and now here's Koscielny. France look very comfortable at the moment, having taken the lead. Titi, any nerves he has will have gone. And now Pogba sweeps it. Good ball to Griezmann. Griezmann tries to backfield it towards Giroud, hits the defender instead, and it's behind for a corner.
Great spot from Paul Pogba. Looping ball over the top. Griezmann just tried the little flick with his instep to find Giroud. Didn't quite come off, but now France have a corner, and that's what France have. They have that ability, those special players, to create something from nothing.
Griezmann to take the corner, left-footed from the right side, deep, played in, and it's a good header, and it's into the net, and it is Pogba. Pogba has put France 2-0 up after 19 minutes, and already that might be the end of Iceland. It was such a firm header from the Juventus player. Brilliant delivery from Griezmann. France 2, Iceland 0.
Outstanding delivery. Not too much pace on the ball, to the far post, and Pogba with a powerful, soaring header knocked everybody out of the way. We knew about the Icelandic power from set pieces, but what a goal this is. He gets the run on the defender, powers it into the top corner. Fabulous header from Paul Pogba.
Great header indeed. Well, Iceland 2 down in the first 20 minutes. This wasn't in their ideal script tonight.
He must climb about 2.5 feet above Budvarsson. Outstanding leap from Paul Pogba.
Now, Iceland tried to respond quickly, and have they got a free kick? No, they haven't. It's a goal kick. Shot was driven in by Sigthorsson. He went down under the challenge, but his shot was high, and it's a goal kick for Lloris to take, and it's just French delight all around the Stade de France at the moment, bouncing up and down. Well, they obviously outnumber the Iceland supporters by, you would think, something like 3-1, maybe more than that, and they're enjoying their evening so far, the Frenchmen and women, of course. They've had so many poor starts in games during the European Championship, and have had to respond late in matches. This is more what we expected from France.
But that often happens. A team that goes on to win the tournament, Spain when they won the World Cup, lost their opening game, it's the team that grows into the tournament. You cannot play well in 6 or 7 games in a row. It's never ever going to happen. You've got to grind a few results out early on, and that's what France have done. And suddenly now they've got maybe that little bit of confidence. They've got those special players like we mentioned. Well, and if it looks like it's going to be a Germany-France semi-final, that's going to be something special as well.
And it looks as if Germany are going to be missing some key players. Hummels is suspended, Khedira and Gomez is certainly out, and Khedira is probably out injured as well. 3 crucial players might be missing for Germany. France lead Iceland by 2-0. Iceland have the ball. Sigurdsson feeds it forward. I think he was fouled in the process, but the referee didn't award the free kick, and France cleared the danger and started playing the far side of the field for a throw into Iceland, which Savarsson will take. Back to the central defender, Arnason. Arnason hits it high, cross field, headed away by Sanya. Griezmann takes it on his chest. Great control by Griezmann. Onto the right side, and Sanya bursts forward. He's already halfway inside the Icelandic half. Back to Griezmann. France in control of this game. Now it's Koscielny. Away to the far side, Ninteti, his central defensive colleague tonight, because of the suspension of Rami. Conte and Rami will be available for the semi-final should France get there. We're already halfway through the first half here in the Stade de France. It's going France's way. They lead 2-0, and here's John Murray.
Yes, it certainly is, Alan. I'm not sure we're going to see another chapter to the Iceland fairy tale here tonight. They've never conceded 2 goals in a match at this tournament. 1 goal in every game they let in, so it's a long way back for them. And France with confidence. Giroud and Pogba, the goal scorers. And here's Payet now. Payet running at the Iceland defence, slipping it through from Matuidi inside the penalty area on the left-hand side. Then he stumbles on to his knees after Kari Arnason came across, but it's only a goal kick. So France leading Iceland by 2-0 with those 2 goals in the first 20 minutes. Danny Mills.
Just seeing the header again from Pogba, it's an incredible leap. You know, he's tall, he's strong, but it's a good 2 feet above the defender, powers the ball into the corner of the net. Really, really good header, and you just worry now for Iceland. You know, 5 games in a row, unchanged side, tired, emotionally drained. Just hope it doesn't turn into 4-5. That would be the worry, wouldn't it?
It would. Iceland named the same team again, so they've named the same side for all of their matches here. France making 2 changes, bringing in Umtiti and Sissoko, who's relegated with Newcastle, remember, for the suspended Conte and Rami. But Iceland have got a long throw down the right-hand side. It's almost level with the edge of the penalty area, so Gunnarsson is ready. The bearded Gunnarsson of Cardiff leans against the hoarding, and then in it comes. It's headed on, and it's over the bar. What a chance on the edge of the 6-yard box. Bert Varsson sliding in after the initial glanced header from Ragnar Sigurdsson. Well, that was a big chance, and he put it over the top.
It was a glorious opportunity. Again, we've seen it so many times. I think Umtiti just does enough to put him off. I think that might have been a corner. A little bit of a deflection as it went over. But the initial flick on, exactly the same as what happened during the England game. 5 yards out, but Varsson couldn't quite get enough contact to head it, stick it goalwards.
They have maybe just complicated things, Iceland. I'll come back to that in a moment, because the ball in play with France, who have a free kick. Sissoko went for goal actually from 25 yards, but it was blocked by the sliding Gunnarsson, and Iceland cleared away from their own full-back position. For the long throws, the target has almost always been Arnason, the number 14, the central defender. The 2 long throws that they've had so far, the target has not been Arnason, it's been someone else. So, yeah, there's a slight change to the plan there, and so far it hasn't worked. I'd go back to Arnason if I was them.
Oh, that one wasn't far off working, was it? It was
no.
A great flick on.
France with the ball at the back in the blue shirts, blue shorts and red socks, and the Iceland supporters doing their best to try and help their team get a foothold in the game. 2-0 the French lead, but there's an overhit pass from Griezmann, and it's out of play for a throw into Iceland halfway inside their own half. And we see one of the joint coaches, the part-time dentist Heimir Hallgrimsson, who'll be a part-time dentist no longer after the tournament. He'll be in sole charge on his own, standing there with his hands in his pockets, watching Giroud challenge for it and landing rather awkwardly. Has he got a problem with his arm? He stayed down, Giroud. Here's Payet though. Play continues. Payet on his left foot. Challenge. Good challenge as well from Gudmundsson of Charlton. Gudmundsson then takes it on, leaves it for Saivarsson to take it on, the right back. Giroud just getting to his feet down here on our end of the field. Good challenge comes in, but Saivarsson gets to his feet. Bert Varsson's now involved as well, but he's crowded out in the end, and France bring it away. And I'm still looking at Giroud down there, who's looking at the substitutes bench, just feeling his shoulder. I think he's okay. Here's a long ball. We'll see how okay he is, because Giroud's chasing it out on the right wing, heads it down. He looks absolutely fine now. Ball on his left foot. Still, Giroud was looking for the run from Sanya, who for some reason pulled on the brakes, and the pass was easily cleared away by Iceland.
Nothing to do with his bad shoulder, though, was it?
There wasn't.
Just a complete miscommunication.
Matuidi now to the left-hand side. Payet almost with his heels on the white line over there. Griezmann in the middle, but Gylfi Sigurdsson nips it away from him. And now Iceland in white tonight, breaking towards the halfway line, but Sigþórsson, a careless pass from him, and maybe this Icelandic belief is just wavering a little. They have the ball in their own defensive third with Gylfi Sigurdsson, who's challenged by Giroud, and Sigurdsson looks at Bjarnason as if to say, you gave me no chance with that pass there. Giroud was all over him, so France back in possession.
It's the first time we've seen a bad reaction from one of the Icelandic players at any point during this tournament to one of his colleagues.
So here we are in the north of Paris, in Saint-Denis to be precise, on what is a really miserable night. It's quite a cool night as well here. We've had showers on and off for most of the day. I have a feeling it might be a nicer night in Reykjavik. Here's Giroud on the right hand side, and then Bjarnason in with the blonde hair flying, puts in the challenge, got a toe to it. Goalkeeper Halldórsson couldn't keep it in, so it's a corner from the side from which France scored their second goal.
It's not a nice night when you're 2-0 down, though, in Reykjavik. You know, that's a problem. How are they going to get back into this game? We know they've got set pieces, but they've got to defend better themselves. Different this time, it's going to be Payet with the outswinger.
Yes, not Griezmann, who took the corner when Pogba scored. So an interesting switch. They were out-muscled for the last corner. Payet going to take this from the right hand side. Payet of West Ham. Little French flags being twirled in that corner. Payet, here it is, the outswinger, but it's headed down and away for Iceland. France pick up possession though. Back to Payet on the right hand side. Payet, he has support behind him from Sissoko, and he uses it. Sissoko starting the match for the second time at the tournament here tonight. Payet now, still with Sissoko, but Payet onto his left foot, plays the ball into the edge of the area. That was headed away by Sigþórsson, and then France back in possession again. It's angled infield to Griezmann. He was slightly off balance there and therefore loses possession, and Iceland could be away on the counter-attack. It's Birkir Bjarnason with the beard and the long hair, the man who scored the first goal for Iceland at a major tournament with the equaliser against Portugal. But Iceland have just slowed it down again, and they have the ball in the central third and are knocking it around. Gudmundsson back to Gunnarsson, and now on the right hand side with Sævarsson, and they go all the way back into central defence. So France leading Iceland by 2-0 with half an hour played here in the Stade de France, the national stadium, where this time next week, if you listen to 5 Live, you'll be listening to the final. Might Wales be in it? Here's the ball on the right hand side with Sævarsson, then back to Gudmundsson. Gudmundsson on the right wing, but checks back onto his left foot. That's the way they play it, with the right-footed Bjarnason on the left hand side and the left-footed Gudmundsson on the right. Now the ball is shovelled forward towards the edge of the penalty area to Böðvarsson, who chests it down, but closely watched by Umtiti, who tackles it out of play for a throw-in to Iceland 10 yards back from the corner flag. So step forward, Anna Gunnarsson with the long throws, and the Viking roar in the background to try and urge him on. And again we've got another ball thrown onto the pitch. That's been a blight of Euro 2016.
Well, Gunnarsson's clever. He goes and gets the spare ball every single time. That one, he actually ran very, very quickly to make sure it didn't hit the floor.
Will Arnason be the target this time? Here comes the throw. It's a poor throw. I think it's slipped out of his grip, on this wet night.
Well, I think that's why he's trying to get the dry ball as often as possible.
And he actually immediately there, if you noticed, Dan, he wiped his hands on his shirt as if to say, I just lost control of that one. So the long throw not working quite so well for Iceland tonight. France 2, Iceland 0. And Didier Deschamps just wanders forward. He's got an anorak on as well, a hooded anorak. Deschamps, after the glittering career that he had, the captain of the team that won the World Cup here in this stadium back in '98, and then became European champions 2 years later in Belgium and the Netherlands with that brilliant team that they had. Zidane, Henry, Vieira and the rest of them. Here is the ball at the back with Koscielny, just playing it to his left to Samuel Umtiti, who is 22 years old, making his first appearance for France at senior level in a European Championship quarter-final. The ball is back to Lloris, the captain, winning his 80th cap tonight in all. Long and forward from Koscielny. This is for Griezmann to chase. It's headed away by Ragnar Sigurdsson. Comes out to Sissoko. He's got a little bit of space here in the middle of the Iceland half. Now to Payet on the left-hand side. Payet, 2 Iceland players in front of him. Slips it through to Sissoko, who's now out on the left-hand side. Ball played back to Payet on his right foot. Payet and Griezmann combining together just outside the D. And then back it goes to a more central area where it's across to Payet now just outside the D again, but he's closely watched there. Payet. Then back to Matuidi, and now the right back Sagna joins in as well, and in fact France go back into their own half. They've settled down again, Iceland, after conceding the second goal. They've got themselves back into their organised positions, but 2-0 down, France are in a great position. Back it goes to Umtiti, now to Matuidi. As I say, no Conte tonight, so he's not out there, the Leicester Premier League winner. And now Koscielny, little ball from him into the centre circle, and then a touch in centre field by Pogba, and now it's with Evra on the left hand side, the evergreen Evra, who's still going down into the full back position. I thought he was caught there by Gudmundsson. No, the referee disagrees, so does Evra, but it's only a goal kick. Danny Mills.
I also thought it was a foul. Evra went past his man on the far side. Well, there's a tangle of legs, but I still think that's a foul. I think the referee is a little bit lenient on that one. But at the moment, France in complete control, happy to just pass the ball around and just feel if they get a third, that really will be game over.
Yes, and we will have France against Germany in Marseille on Thursday night. You hear both semi-finals with us here on 5 Live, the place to listen to them. Wednesday night, live from Lyon, Wales against Portugal. Thursday night, Germany against, looks like France, live from inside the stadium in Marseille. That'll be such an occasion.
But what an opportunity the Welsh have. Portugal have been decidedly average in this tournament so far. Yes, Ronaldo could have scored an awful lot of goals, but he hasn't been anywhere near sparkling form like we expect him to be. Yes, we know he can be a threat and he can turn it on at a moment's notice, but equally Gareth Bale.
Yes, it's a really interesting matchup, that one as well. 2-0 to France, and the ball with Iceland. Kari Arnason, who now plays his football in Malmo, but listeners might remember him from Rotherham, where he won a couple of promotions, Aberdeen and Plymouth. And Iceland have lost possession, and it's played back by Sagna to goalkeeper Lloris, who clears long and left-footed down into the Iceland half. The flag is up against Giroud, so it's a free kick to Iceland over there on the far side of the field. And once again the Viking roar rings around the Stade de France. They haven't been affected one jot by the fact that they're 2-0 down, but the French supporters are responding with their flags, many of them, thousands of them actually, around the stadium, particularly in the end to our left. Sigthorsson loses possession, or is dispossessed by Koscielny. Now it's played forward to Griezmann. Griezmann running on his left foot up towards Giroud. Giroud now to the right hand side to Sissoko. Then it's back to Pogba. A little flick from Pogba to Matuidi, and now it finds its way all the way over there to Evra on the left hand side. Patrice Evra, 35 years old now. France again just controlling possession. Matuidi, the Paris Saint-Germain player, is the only player who played for Paris Saint-Germain last season who is in this French squad, the French champions, PSG. Umtiti is going to give it to Koscielny to his right, and now Koscielny just moving away, has a look forward, but gives it at close water to Sagna, and now Koscielny again across to Umtiti. And this is frustrating Iceland, but it is entirely understandable that France should do this, and it's good possession for them as well. And now it's through the middle to Griezmann. A little touch to Payet. Payet skips away from a couple of challenges, then plays it through the middle where a falling Ragnar Sigurdsson is able to clear it away up towards Bert Varsen. Had asked a lot of him, but Bert Varsen was able to keep it with the chest. Gylfi Sigurdsson. Iceland need to get Gylfi Sigurdsson more into the match, but it's Gudmundsson who plays it across here to the left-hand side. Now Bjarnason, the wild-haired Bjarnason, pings a pass, but he's not put enough on it, and it's easily intercepted by Evra as he stepped forward. And in fact, France could be off on the counter-attack, but they're not going to overcommit themselves with a 2-0 lead. And in fact, it's almost a walk-in counter-attack.
But we shouldn't be surprised, John. This is what Iceland do. I think they had 34% possession against England. They sit back, they allow the opposition to have the ball. It's no big problem for them. They've done this in every single game up until now. They don't mind that. They're quite happy. Okay, they're not happy that they're 2-0 down, but they're not going to change their way of playing. They might have to tweak it in the last half an hour of the match, if it still remains at 2-0 down. But as it stands, they will just keep doing what they do.
France 2-0 up here on BBC 5 Live. Pogba with a powerful, towering header. He just brushed Bert Varsen, who was the player marking him, out of the way to head it into the net from the Griezmann corner. Pogba scoring for the 6th time for France in his 36th appearance, and Giroud scoring the first goal. Good finish actually from the left-hand side after Matuidi put him through. 2-0, and France looking for a third with Payet into the penalty area on the left-hand side. Checks back, plays it with his right foot to the edge of the box, and a low shot which is sliced actually by Matuidi. He was stretching for it and actually shot well wide, 10 yards, more than that wide.
Well, it ended up about 3 yards from the corner flag. It was a difficult chance as it came back to him. Like you said, he was stretching for the volley, never really quite got it. Came off the outside of his foot, well wide in the end. But Iceland, they've just got to stay in the game. If they can keep it to 2-0 with 7-8 minutes to go to half time, Lars Lagerbäck can maybe just tweak one or two things at half time, give them a little bit of confidence, maybe a bit more belief in the second half, and they're going to have to come out at some point and have a go at the French.
Iceland with it on the left, but the left back Skulason was challenged, and then the ball actually just runs out of play, so it's a throw into France inside the Iceland half. France are dominant here, they're absolutely dominant, scoring the 2 goals. So important to get into that sort of lead in the 12th and the 19th minutes. Giroud with the first of them, Giroud who scored the first goal of the tournament, and now Sanya going all the way back to Koscielny.
It's how we expected the England game to go, wasn't it? After England scored early on, we thought, right, that's it now, pretty much game over. It looks that way at the moment, but again, you never know.
Yes, I don't know about you, Danny. I saw quite a number of England supporters on the way to the ground tonight. We travelled in different modes of transport this evening to get to the Stade de France.
Didn't you come in the Icelandic motorcade?
Here is the ball on the right hand side, just chipped across by Sanya. Giroud stretching for it in the middle, but sandwiched in between 2 Icelandic defenders, could only head it down, and goalkeeper Halldórsson was able to pick it up and give it out quickly to Gudmundsson on the right hand side. Gudmundsson moving in field, flicks it behind him to Sævarsson, and the right back is just dwelling on the ball and going back into central defence. No, there was no motorcade for the president-elect of Iceland.
I thought you'd have been in the limo with the little flags on and all sorts, and the biker outriders.
Well, I was wondering how he was going to turn up, because I was waiting for him at his hotel before he arrived.
He's probably come on the metro.
And I thought it would be quite low key, and sure enough, this group of 3 people walked in, and I thought, is that them? Is that them? And it was them. Long ball from the halfway line, which is headed away by Sanya, and then Birka Bjarnason is landed on by Musa Sissoko, and it's a free kick.
Yes, Sissoko just shoulder barges him out of the way, and then the follow through sort of falls on top of him, makes up the referee's mind to give the free kick. And again, an opportunity now for Sigurdsson to swing this ball deep into the French box.
Yep, set piece, so dangerous from set pieces. Sigurdsson, Gylfi Sigurdsson raises his right arm and then plays it in beyond the line, and it's bounced up. Lloris pats it up in the air and then catches it at a second attempt. That was almost the perfect delivery, just dropping it into the area behind the defence.
We've seen some great deliveries in this game so far, and the reason why, players aren't trying to whip it in with too much pace. They're just feeling the ball into the right areas. That just went over the top of the French defence. Lloris didn't want to come for it in case he got knocked by anybody, but any sort of touch and that would have ended up in the back of the net.
Yep, they are set piece effective. Almost half of their goals in qualifying were scored from set pieces, and the long throws have had great effect here in France as well. As Jaime Hallgrimsson said the other day, we score in every match, and we score from set pieces in almost every match. Here is Griezmann. We haven't scored in this game. They're 2-0 down. Payet to the right hand side. Now Sagna teases, pulls the crossover. Giroud heads it down. Griezmann with his back to goal, lays it off to Payet on his left foot. Danger! It's in! It's 3-0. Lovely low finish from Dimitri Payet, and he slides away on his knees, having scored his third goal of the tournament. And it looks as though the Iceland fairy tale story is going to end here in the Stade de France in the quarter-final tonight. It's not even half-time, and it's France 3, Iceland 0.
Fabulous finish by Payet. Outstanding strike with his left foot. As it came back out to him, Griezmann laid it off to him. He thought about hitting it early with his right foot, checked it back onto his left, and like an arrow, straight into the corner. Fantastic finish from Dimitri Payet.
And they walk back towards the halfway line. Payet actually slid into the Icelandic corner to celebrate, and so the Iceland fans in there are trying to respond, but the players now, the Iceland players, if you look at them now, they're lined up in position. France aren't even back over the halfway line. Eventually Griezmann's the last man over the line, and Iceland kick off. But 3-0. There can't be any way back from this.
No, I don't think so. I said, they need to stay in the game at 2-0. They've got half a chance. If they nicked one, who knows? But now at 3-0, you have to say that's game dead and buried.
Done a very good job on them, France, haven't they? They've taken their chances. That's the key thing. And at 3-0, this will do wonders for the French confidence as well, as they head to Marseille for that semi-final. Well, of course, I don't think we should pencil it in. I think we can get the pen out and write France into that semi-final.
Yeah, get the big blue marker pen out. But equally now, they can just cruise through the rest of the game. They can take the foot off the gas. They can keep the ball. Germany have had extra time to deal with. 1 or 2 injuries and suspensions as well. So France will want to conserve as much energy as possible.
Lovely flick from Giroud. Griezmann's through. 1-on-1. Chips it. And it's in. It's 4-0. And the Stade de France celebrates. Already they're looking to Marseille and the semi-final against Germany. Griezmann, his 4th goal of the tournament. He's mobbed by his teammates down in this corner near us. And France now out of sight. 4-0 against Iceland.
What a finish that is. Magnificent run for Anton Griezmann. Played in, beat the offside trap just as Giroud did for the first goal. And as the goalkeeper comes out, it was the Karol Poborski scoop, where he just lifted it over the top of the goalkeeper into the open goal. Absolutely fabulous. It was Pogba's initial ball into him. Giroud played the dummy, allowed it to run through. Griezmann onto it, and as the goalkeeper came out, just scooped it over the top of him. Absolutely brilliant finish. But now, feel a little bit sorry for Iceland. Their heads have gone, shoulders have slumped down. It's just a shame, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It is, and the half-time whistle goes. We've had no time added on, and Griezmann, the top scorer. Beautiful little finish. It was a little dink, a scoop, little chip, whatever you call it, as the goalkeeper came out, just sighed into the net. And I notice we've just seen on our screen here, Dimitri Payet, as part of the celebrations, actually bent down and kissed Griezmann's left foot. So Giroud, Pogba, Payet and Griezmann, the goal scorers. It's over by half-time here in the Stade de France. Iceland 4-0 down to the hosts.
Well, it might yet be the year of the underdog, but we look to Wales, not Iceland. There's no way back from 4-0 down at half-time. Though Iceland are going to make a couple of changes at the start of this second half. I think one of the players that will be making way is Bert Varsson. But 2 alterations in full. We're waiting for the 4th official to waken up, get his board alight. The two players coming on will be Finn Bogason and Ingerson. Somebody's actually still tying his bootlace. Right. Well, Finn Bogason will replace Bredvarsen, as I suspected. The other change, it's Arneson who's coming off. So Ingerson on for Arneson in defence, and the revised lineup for Iceland will be goalkeeper Halldórsson as the second half gets underway. A defence now of Sævarsson, Ingerson, Ragnar Sigurdsson and Skulason. Then in midfield, the same four in midfield, Gudmundsson, captain Gunnarsson, Gylfi Sigurdsson and Bjarnason. And finally up front we've got Sigthorsson and Finn Bogason. France unchanged. Why would there be anything else after an excellent first half? Goalkeeper Lloris, defensive Sanya, Koscielny, Umtiti and Evra. Then we've got Pogba and Matuidi, then Sissoko, Griezmann and Payet, and finally Giroud. Giroud got it all on the way with an excellent strike after 12 minutes. France lead 4-0. It'll be France against Germany in Marseille on Thursday night for a place in the final. Iceland just must make sure they don't completely cave in here, Danny. We don't want 7 or 8.
No, we don't. I think John Murray was just looking at half-time. France's biggest win in the European Championship is 5-0. That was against Belgium. This could quite easily go 5 or 6. We just hope for Iceland that they hang in, they stay disciplined, they keep working to the very, very end, and let's just hope from somewhere they get a goal to give their fans something to cheer about.
Umtiti, the central defender, on his debut for France tonight. On it goes to Sissoko and wide to the far side, and Sanya on the halfway line. Griezmann nearby. Griezmann's finish was just wonderful for the fourth goal.
Player high on confidence. Again, not an easy one where you've got a lot of time to think about it when you're running out the keeper. But he's in such great form. Scored so many goals this season. He's never really in doubt.
Well, it's French singing you here at the moment, and why shouldn't they be singing? Their team just caressing the ball amongst themselves at the moment. Iceland can't get a look in. Umtiti again for France. Onto the near side, the left, and Patrice Evra. Evra, who's won successive championships in Italy with Juventus since he left Old Trafford. Now it's back to Koscielny. And Koscielny, it's at walking pace at the moment. There's no need to hurry themselves, France. In fact, I wouldn't be at all surprised if Didier Deschamps made at least 2 changes in this second half. Doesn't want any problems to affect his most talented players like Griezmann and Payet. And Pogba. Great header for the second goal from this man, Pogba. Pogba to Payet. Back to Pogba. And to the left side it goes in Matuidi. Matuidi to Payet. They've hardly misplaced a pass, France, and now they finally do. Gunnarsson for Iceland to Sævarsson, whose ball up towards the halfway line was met by the substitute Finn Bogason. Onto the far side of the field, and Skulason. I wonder why there was the change in the central defence, Arneson. Didn't notice any problems.
Giroud got in behind him, didn't he? Far too easy for the first goal. Griezmann equally for the second. For the fourth goal, a few seconds before half time. So I think maybe the manager's thinking, look, maybe he's having a little bit of a tough time, let's just take him off, and also maybe just give somebody else a game as well.
Yes, well, they started the game, Iceland, with an unchanged lineup for the 5th time. Here's Pogba for France, who lead by 4-0. 4 minutes gone in the second period. Pogba back to Koscielny. On to Sanya with Pogba available. Pogba's had a really impressive evening. But we have to emphasise, and this is what is so hard to take when you think that England lost to Iceland, France are playing Iceland. They're a championship level side. Bluntly, it's the truth. Now the near side of the field with Evra on the attack for France. Back to Matuidi. Into Griezmann. Griezmann looking for Matuidi again inside the penalty area. Pogba's there. Pogba to his right foot, taps it back. Here's Griezmann. First touch wasn't great. Payet from the rebound hits it high over the crossbar.
France doing very, very well, working that opportunity. Good little 1-2. Sissoko did well, drove into the box. Payet couldn't quite get the ball under the crossbar, but you can see he's not too concerned. He jogs back, smiling, laughing to himself. It wasn't an easy chance as it popped up on the rise, on the half volley. But I think this is the point now. France, they can just go out, they can just play, they can enjoy themselves, not have to overexert themselves. And I think that's why Didier Deschamps will leave it another 10-15 minutes or so before he starts to make changes.
Well, they've taken their chances tonight, France. That's been the big difference. You know, they've impressed in their earlier performances, but still left themselves with a lot to do in the closing stages of games.
Well, at half-time it was 5 shots on target and 4 goals. That's how clinical they've been. Absolutely exceptional finishing.
Here they've got the ball again. Griezmann inside the centre circle, in no hurry. Griezmann flicks it to the left, and it's with Evra. Evra back to Umtiti. It's hard to judge how the youngster has played in the centre of defence because he hasn't been up against a lot tonight.
No, it's been very, very easy for him. I think as Chris Waddle said at half-time, just that one long throw-in that really has caused any sort of problem.
France attack down the right side, headed away by Iceland towards the far touchline. Skulason plays it infield to the new central defender Ingersson. Ingersson's ball still inside the Icelandic penalty area, no longer. It's head upfield, one well in the air by Koscielny, and that was one well too by Sissoko. Back to Payet. Payet into the French half, and now it's with Evra. 6 minutes gone. You're listening to 5 Live in the BBC. France 4, Iceland 0. Don't forget, Wednesday evening, 8 o'clock kick-off in Lyon. Portugal against Wales, the first semi-final in Euro 2016, and the following night in Marseille it will be Germany against France. Once more an 8 o'clock kick-off UK time. Here's Griezmann. Griezmann halfway inside the Iceland half. Was bundled over there, but play continues. I think the advantage was with France, and the shot was driven in from a good 35 yards by Pogba. It was obviously got it too wide.
Ambitious, but a good hit from, as you said, a long way out. But I think that's the freedom that France have now. They can showboat a little bit. They can try 1 or 2 flicks and tricks, and just see what happens. And this might give them a huge amount of confidence going to that semi-final against Germany, which is going to be an absolute thriller.
Here's Ingersson, one of the 2 substitutes made at half-time by Iceland, to his captain Gunnarsson, and onto the far side. That's a good ball down the left flank to Skulason. In it goes towards the edge of the penalty area. Opportunity here. Oh, goodness gracious. Goodmanson leant back as he played the shot in left-footed, and as a result he threatened the floodlights more than he threatened the goal.
Goodison just snatched at it, was leaning back a little bit, but the Icelandic fans, they're still in high spirits. They're still clapping, applauding when they can, trying to give their team as much encouragement as possible.
Why not? Goal kick to France, taken short by Lloris to Koscielny. Back to the French goalkeeper and captain, and he clears it now left-footed towards the halfway line. Giroud chests it back well to Evra. Evra's first touch not great though, and it's finally lost off the left foot of Matuidi, and now it's back with Halldórsson, the Icelandic goalkeeper. 8 minutes gone, no change in the scoreline.
Doesn't matter what score this game finishes up. Iceland's biggest achievement ever is going to be beating England in the last 16 of Euro 2016. That in 2 or 3 months' time, they'll have all forgotten about this result against France. It won't matter. Their moment of elation is that result against England, and that's why these players will always be heroes in their country now.
You have to think, Danny, if England had played remotely well and beaten Iceland, it would be France against England tonight.
Well, it should be France against England, but it isn't. And this is just goes to show. Germany annihilated Slovakia. Great side that Germany are. They made Slovakia look very, very ordinary. Created numerous chances, scored lots of goals. France have made Iceland look very, very ordinary. Not created so many chances, but have scored lots of goals, and that's just something that England haven't been able to do.
Sigurdsson, that's Gylfi Sigurdsson, is on the attack down the inside left channel, but the ball is on the right side for Iceland. It's with Syverson. They switched to 3 at the back, Iceland. The fullbacks both appear to be pushing forward. Skulason on the left, Syverson on the right. Do you want to say something?
No, I think John Murray's just been a little bit mischievous. I think he just did remind me that, of course, England did beat Wales, who may well go on to the final. I think Wales' biggest problem in the semi-final is that I think they will probably be favourites. You know, we've both seen Portugal
what
a
we've
couple
seen
of
in
times.
Portugal, Danny.
There's no reason why Wales don't go into that game. I know they've got a couple of suspensions, you know, which is going to be difficult for them, but I think they will, on form, they should be the favourites going into that game.
Here's Sigurdsson, Gylfi Sigurdsson down the right side for Iceland, and he's immediately tackled and the ball goes out of play. And it's going to be a throw in to Iceland, and Gunnarsson comes across, not with quite the same enthusiasm he might have shown in the first few minutes of the game. He again wants a dry ball. He's happy with the second one he takes hold of. Just gives it another wipe on his shirt. There was heavy rain during the interval. It's relented now. Gunnarsson throws it in towards the near post. Firm header away. It's still in play on the near side of the field. Gunnarsson says, give the ball to me. Syverson does give it to him. Gunnarsson in towards the edge of the penalty. Oh, great ball in! Fabulous ball in! And it's converted by Sigurdsson. It was Gylfi Sigurdsson, swept ball into the right side, curling in towards the near post. An emphatic finish by the non-striker. And Iceland do have a goal to celebrate. France 4, Iceland 1.
The comeback is on.
They don't get carried away.
Oh, who knows? But, you know, that's magnificent. The Icelandic fans that are all jumping around, they're going through their clapping routine. It was a brilliant ball in from Gylfi Sigurdsson. Absolute inch perfect cross, sliding across the near post. This time gets his foot on the great contact into the corner of the net, and you can't ask more than that. That's brilliant for the eyes, even if it ends 4-1.
Yeah, it's a quality goal. What a cross from Sigurdsson. Now that'll waken up the French, who were sort of dozing off at the start of the second half. Then the shot is driven in now towards the Icelandic goal, played in by Pogba again. Once more it was from long range, easily saved by Halldórsson. There's no comeback from 4-1. There ain't a comeback, but it's great for Iceland that they've managed to score tonight.
Never say never, Alan. We've seen stranger things happen. No, I agree. It's been almost impossible. But now suddenly it might just give them a little bit of confidence. We might get a slightly better game in the second half. It might not quite be as one-way traffic.
Matuidi to Griezmann. And now Giroud to Griezmann again. Onto the far side of the field, but that's beyond Sanya. And it's out of play for an Icelandic throw. Did you hear the noise from the Iceland fans?
Oh, absolutely brilliant. But John did tell us before the game, you know, their coach always says they score in every single game.
They've done it. Now, Bjarnason. A yellow card for Bjarnason. It won't matter now, but he would miss the next match.
Well, it was always going to happen with 9 players on, or 9 of the starts and 11 on yellow cards.
I mean, he left his foot high.
A little bit of frustration. He was sliding in. He could have easily pulled his foot out of it. He just raised it slightly. It wasn't as bad as Giroud made out, but it is a yellow card.
Yeah, I don't think the contact was so significant that it deserved the roll and submission by Giroud, but that is unfortunately the way of so many modern day players. It's certainly a free kick to France. A very long way out. Payet's going to take it. 13 minutes gone in the second half. Iceland have scored. France 4, Iceland 1. You're listening to 5 Live in the BBC. Payet comes back half a dozen steps. He's not going to shoot from this range, but there it is. Swept in toward the far post, and it's headed in by Giroud. 5-1. Great delivery. Good finish.
Magnificent delivery. Very similar to deliveries we've seen so far. Too many players in this day and age try and whip the ball in at 150 miles an hour. Hit it as hard as they can. That was just put into an area with feeling, with the right amount of pace, left in an area for Giroud. He then got the ability to adjust his run and go and attack the ball. He leaps high above the defence, high above the goalkeeper, into the empty net. Great finish from Giroud.
Really was. Super free kick. Goalkeeper came and, well, I don't know what he was doing, getting out that far without making a direct challenge on Giroud. Giroud's header beat him, and that's 5-1 again.
But it's all about delivery. No, that delivery is put into an area with the right amount of pace on the ball. So Giroud, he can adjust his run. He takes a little side step to one side, then leaps, and that means he can beat the defender.
He's not going to get a hat-trick. He's the subject of the first French substitution tonight. He had a wry smile on his face. I don't think he wants to come off. He scored twice.
No, but equally he is on a yellow card as well. You know, and you just wonder, slippery, wet conditions. Sometimes the way he
Absolutely.
jumps,
Smart.
he might just catch somebody, and the referee might just pull out that yellow card. So no, I think
Fabulous reception
a
from the
decent
French
decision.
crowd for him.
And you just see Didier Deschamps as he comes off, give him a hug, just having a little word in his ear, and he's probably just said, look, I need to protect you.
Gignac is on for Giroud. And now Iceland on the attack. Balls just to the right of the French penalty. There's a Frenchman down at the moment. He's hobbling around in the inside that penalty area.
No, it's Matuidi's just pulled up.
Gunnarsson falls over, doesn't get a free kick. Now he wins a throw-in, which Gunnarsson's going to take. And immediately Matuidi goes down to receive attention. Well, this certainly isn't what Didier Deschamps would wish for, to pick up an injury or two tonight. He's back on his feet and he's hobbling. Why didn't he just get attention?
Well, probably doesn't want the physio to come on, doesn't want to go. I think it's possibly just a dead leg.
Anyway, Gunnarsson's throw-in into the penalty area. Headed on, there's a chance again on the volley. Swept right-footed by Ben Bogerson, the substitute, over the crossbar.
Another half chance for Iceland. You know, they still have created opportunities, and decent opportunities in this game. Oh, I've just seen it again. It's as the shot comes in, Matuidi just put his foot up, and he gets sort of caught on the back of the calf, quite low down, and that'll just start to stiffen up. That'll be a little bit sore. That's probably why he wants to stay on, just to run it off and try and keep it as loose as possible. But that'll be sore tomorrow.
Danny, can you remember how many chances England had in the match against Iceland? I mean,
well, the keeper had to save one in the second half.
Exactly. Shocking. Now, Iceland have done far better against France here, even though they're being thumped. They've continued to create chances. Oh, the humiliation of Nice. Throw into France, who are heading for a semi-final not that far away from Nice, against Germany in Marseille on Thursday night. You can hear it here on 5 Live, 8 o'clock kick-off. And the previous night, John Murray will be in Lyon for Wales against Portugal. Now it's Gudmundsson down the right for Iceland. Iceland aren't finished as an attacking force. To the captain Gunnarsson. Gunnarsson with a little shimmy gets the ball to Sigurdsson. There's the cross into the penalty area, and it's headed away and behind. It's going to be a corner to Iceland.
Sanya threw himself at the ball, and it maybe just hurt himself as he took off. He's just gone down again, a little bit like Matuidi did. Don't think he got caught.
No, I don't think he got caught at all. No, he didn't. So he moves away, hobbling, but he's all right. And the corner's going to be swung in by Gudmundsson, left-footed. Oh, there it is, another free header. It's a great save by Lloris. Fantastic save by the French goalkeeper. Sigurdsson almost made it 5-2.
Unbelievable save.
Sorry, it was Ingerson.
It's Ingerson, the centre-back that's come on. Brilliant ball in, great header, and a fabulous point-blank save.
Another corner for Iceland, deep. Lloris comes, stretches with his right hand, palms the ball away. The second half has been far more entertaining than we could have hoped for.
We thought it was going to be a dead rubber, didn't we? You know, that it was just going to be all possession. But Iceland have come out and they're having a go. And you know, at least we've got a game on our hands now. Although it is 5-1.
Point taken. Gunnarsson with another long throw from the right. Launches it, reaches the edge of the 6-yard box. Header clear by France. Gunnarsson meets the clearance. Gunnarsson plays it in. That's an excellent pass to the edge of the penalty. A low cross in. That looked like a handball. Well, the ball bounced up, certainly caught Griezmann on the arm, but Griezmann rushes away. France on the counter-attack. Griezmann to Gignac. Gignac approaching the penalty area, into the penalty, onto his right foot, selfishly shoots at goal when he had opportunities elsewhere, and Iceland survived that little scare. Did they deserve a penalty?
Well, quite possibly. The ball pops up. Evra has a touch with his left foot, pops up onto his arm. It's not intentional, but he certainly stops the ball going goalwards.
Here's Payet running forward, and it's a loose pass by Payet. The game's opened up. It's silly.
Well, sometimes when the pressure's off, it's much easier to play. The French have dropped right off the pace of the game. They're allowing Iceland to have a little bit more possession in this, and that's why they look like they could come back into it. But they'll take it as a positive at the moment. They'll do the typical managerial thing and say, well, it's 1-1 in the second half.
It's been some great goalkeeping in this tournament.
Unbelievable save from Lloris.
You see
Point blank.
Buffon last night?
Yes.
Oh. And then from Lloris, fantastic. Neuer. Hart. No, I shouldn't go there.
You just have.
I know, well, I have to. Sorry, let in 2 goals as far as I'm concerned. 20 minutes played in the second half here at the Stade de France. It's 1-1 in terms of the second half. Overall, France 5, Iceland 1. Iceland have done really well. Any scoreline was possible in terms of 6, 7, 8. It might yet be, but Iceland certainly have been granted compensation by scoring themselves in this second half. Right, can they get another goal? Ball's inside the centre circle. Gunnarsson, the captain, dropping quite deep. He's playing as the central of 3 central defenders at the moment. Now it's played down the left flank, and that came off a French foot, I think, for a corner. The referee's looking at it, or has he given a free kick? He's given a free kick for the challenge on Sagna. Actually, Sagna's arm was up in Goodmanson's face. We're just getting a replay of that possible penalty. Well, it came off his right boot, Evra's right boot, up onto his left arm, and then Griezmann ran away with it. 21 minutes played here in the second half, and you're listening to 5 Live in the BBC. France lead Iceland by 5-1. Lloris, the French captain, takes the free kick straight into Iceland's possession. Bjarnason, right of the centre circle now, when he normally plays on the left flank. They've switched tactics here, the Icelandic coaches. Now they're on the attack. Sigurdsson tries to feed the ball through to Bjarnason, cut out by France. France now in the counter-attack. Griezmann almost caught a possession. He was fouled, and it's a free kick. Free kick to France.
And France just need to gain control of the game again. It's just got away from them. That goal, sort of frantic start to the second half, has just given Iceland a bit of a lift. They're coming forward. Clearly they're not going to get back into this game. They're not going to win it 6-5. That is for sure. But at the moment, I think France would just like to exert a little bit more control and possession of the ball.
And the noise you're hearing is from the Iceland supporters. They've been magnificent. Here's Payet, though, for France. Payet approaching the Iceland penalty area, slips the pass to the right, needs a decent delivery. It's deep, and Matuidi's there, half-headed clear, and then woeful control by Gignac, and it's behind for a goal kick. We reach the midway point of the second half. France 5, Iceland 1. John Murray.
Thanks, Alan. Yes, I get the impression that the Iceland joint coaches probably said to the team at half-time, look, you've got 45 minutes left at Euro 2016, 45 minutes left. Just go and enjoy it. Just go out there and really enjoy the experience. And that's what they've done. And they've even though they were 4-0 down at half-time, they have taken the game to France in the second half, knowing, I suppose, as well, that there's every chance with the Germany semi-final looming for France that the hosts would probably ease off in the match. So they're giving them one or two things to think about. And here's Bjarnason now on the right-hand side, sliding in as the challenge comes in from Matuidi. And Bjarnason couldn't keep it in, and it's out of play for a goal kick. Danny Mills.
Because what will their fans say? What will their country say? What they were trying to say? Okay, they were 4-0 down. They were beaten by a better side. But you know what? They never gave up. They went to the very, very last minute. They gave everything, for their football team, for their country, for their supporters. And that will also, again, make them huge heroes.
So it is France 5, Iceland 1. With the rain coming down again here in Paris. It's actually sweeping across the ground under the floodlights in clouds, as free kick is won by Aron Gunnarsson, the Iceland captain. So it's a free kick, chance for Iceland to see what they can do from the set piece. And Gylfi Sigurdsson is over there on the ball. Sigurdsson of Swansea City, formerly of Tottenham, and all of the big men have gone up to the edge of the area, including Ragnar Sigurdsson, who scored that equaliser against England. Here it is from Gylfi Sigurdsson into the penalty area, rattles around and is hooked and cleared away to safety by Bakary Sagna. And in actual fact, it's won on the halfway line, and now it's taken forward. Pogba gives it to the left hand side to Payet. Payet into the box, a stumbling challenge, still Payet crosses it, takes it a double deflection into the side netting and behind for a corner to the French.
Well, France really starting to enjoy their football now. Payet into the box, went past one, the defender slipped, and then Siversen just sort of threw himself at the ball, tried to sort of use his head as he was crawling, and then double deflection, like you said, took it out for the corner.
Corner then for Payet from the left-hand side. So France, well, Iceland have got everyone back in their own penalty area defending this corner. Payet with the delivery, it's deep and high towards the back post, headed away by the substitute for Iceland, Ingason, and now cleared away up the left-hand side for Gudmundsson, who's off and running towards the halfway line, checks back, plays it, little ball infield to Finn Bogason, and now Gudmundsson with a high ball which asks a lot of Bjarnason, who is beaten in the air, and Payet's going to keep it in here on the left-hand side. This is a bonus for the French supporters and the Iceland fans inside the stadium, in that the match is so entertaining when really as a contest it was over at half time. Here is Pogba, who scored the second of the goals, and you're looking, Danny, at another change coming up. Mangala, now it doesn't surprise me, Eliakim Mangala of Manchester City.
Be Koscielny, won't it?
Because Koscielny is the other player who's on a yellow card and in danger of missing the semi-final. And also it will give Mangala a taste of the action at the tournament too. And so we'll see that change now with the ball out of play for a throw into Iceland on the far side. So yep, Koscielny makes way, and Mangala comes on, having seen Umtiti, the youngster, the uncapped youngster, preferred to him for replacing the starting lineup tonight. I would imagine his pride has taken a bit of a blow there, Mangala. But winning his 8th cap tonight. They have had problems in central defence in the build-up to the tournament. Remember, they lost Jeremy Mathieu and Raphael Varane with injuries. That's why they're not involved at all. So Mangala comes on. France leading Iceland by 5-1. Iceland on their way home after this, but probably to a hero's welcome in Reykjavik. And now the ball for Iceland in the white shirts, white shorts and white socks. Siversen with a cross, but he took it one step too many, and it was blocked away by Patrice Evra. Kept in on the halfway line by the recovering Siversen. And now Gunnarsson back to substitute Ingason, and then Ragnar Sigurdsson, who's certainly been one of the heroes of this Icelandic campaign. He plays it forward, a flick breaks down, and so Iceland now on the back foot. Griezmann playing it to the left hand side. Gignac is into the action. André-Pierre Gignac into the box now on the left hand side, but slows it all down and then plays it back up the line towards Payet. Gignac, who was preferred in terms of a place in the squad for Euro 2016 to a whole host of very, very useful strikers, and of course no Benzema for France either at the tournament for those well publicised reasons. Here is Griezmann is barged off the ball by Gunnarsson just inside the Iceland half, and it's a free kick to France. And no yellow card for Gunnarsson, even though he's taken him out.
He did have a chuckle afterwards, didn't he? I think he was expecting the referee to pull out that yellow card. It never came, and he just had a little giggle to himself, thinking, I've definitely got away with one.
Yes, Gunnarsson. Do you remember, we've seen the Gunnarsson chuckle already at the tournament when he wasn't able to take that chance to make it 3-1 against England in Nice on Monday night. France take the free kick, and it's played out towards the right hand side where Sagna is challenged by Skulason, the left back, and it's a throw in to France with the ball in the central third. Back into the middle it comes to Matuidi, and now here again is Evra. Slips a low ball forward towards Gignac, who actually plays his football in Mexico. Had a great goal scoring season with 33 goals in Mexico for Tigres Here's Matuidi. The pass was a little short. Gudmundsson's onto this. Well, I thought he was pulled back there. He takes it on, and indeed referee Kuipers does come across, and he was clearly tugged back by Umtiti, who is shown the yellow card.
Good play from Gudmundsson, was onto the ball very, very quickly, knocked it past Umtiti, who just put out an outstretched arm. The referee did his best to see if Gudmundsson could play on and get further up the pitch, but when he couldn't, decided to pull it back and brandish the yellow card.
Yeah, it's the first wrong foot really by Umtiti, isn't it? Free kick on the halfway line for Iceland, and they take it short and square, and then Sævarsson, high ball out towards the left hand side. Now it comes back centrally to Gunnarsson, who will play the ball over the top now. Umtiti comes across, heads it down into the right back area, where it is Sanya, who tried to keep it in by hitting it up the line, but he just knocked it straight out of play.
Umtiti just looks solid, doesn't he? He's done everything. I think Chris said, every pass. He hasn't been tested, but he's kept the ball. He's just passed it simple, done the right things. Mangler, on the other hand, yes, can be brilliant, but he can also be very, very erratic, and you don't want that as a centre half.
Now Iceland looking for a second goal. They've got the long throw. Gunnarsson again is right up against the hoardings. Here he comes. Gunnarsson with a throw into the near post. Sigthorsson tried to flick it on, but there were two French defenders behind him, and they were able to block it and clear it away towards the halfway line.
He's just finding it difficult, isn't he, with that wet, slippery ball, to get enough grip and purchase to get a real good long throw into the box.
And here he is again, Gunnarsson heading it into the area for Sigthorsson's run, but he's shepherded behind by the powerful Pogba, and it's a goal kick to the French, who lead by 5-1. Once 5 Live Sport is finished tonight, Stephen Nolan will be taking over at 10 o'clock UK time. The highlights of this match are on BBC One at 10:45 tonight. Mark Chapman with Chris Waddle amongst the guests. And then Wimbledon, our coverage will be resuming tomorrow from midday with Eleanor Oldroyd and Tony Livesey. And you'll be able to hear tomorrow at some stage Andy Murray against Nick Kyrgios, as Griezmann is cynically, well, the free kick's gone the other way because Griezmann with the initial foul on Gunnarsson, who then tugged Griezmann back. Free kick to Iceland. Long and high goes the ball to the edge of the area, where it's headed down by Umtiti. And the two shouts from the Iceland supporters that might have been a handball by Pogba, but referee Kuipers doesn't give it. Then Pogba gets his heels flicked, and the referee will speak to Finn Bogason, but it's just going to be a warning. And then free kick is whacked away downfield by Pogba, who must have known that the referee would want to bring it back, which he does.
Game's just getting a little bit bitty, isn't it? A little bit scrappy. I think some of the Icelandic players just getting a little bit frustrated, maybe, and French players got to be careful that they don't get caught with a late challenge. Certainly they don't want any injuries.
Allez les Bleus is the sound inside the Stade de France, and there's every chance it might be the sound inside the Stade de France this time next week. Griezmann running the ball forward from the centre circle. Griezmann, Payet's available, moving in from the left hand side into the penalty area now. Payet slips it across, and he just couldn't find the pass on the edge of the box that was intercepted, and so Finn Bogason has it in the centre circle, and then a little touch from Evra takes it away from him when he might have been able to play the pass through to Sigthorsson, but dwelt on it. Energy levels
for the Icelandic players now are drained. A lot of them look dead on their feet. Very, very difficult. 5 games for most of them in a row. Such a high level, physically, emotionally. I think they're just spent now.
That's Danny Mills, England World Cup defender. Danny started every game for England in Japan and Korea at that World Cup. Here it is with Iceland, though, their first ever major tournament here, coming to an end here in Paris tonight. But Bjarnason on the right hand side, good looking cross, which is aimed at Gudmundsson, but it was headed away by Sanya, who did ever so well against Gudmundsson. Still Iceland with it, though. Gylfi Sigurdsson, left corner of the box, into Gudmundsson back to Gylfi Sigurdsson, and then it breaks down on the edge of the penalty area, and France are away here with Sissoko, who loses possession. So Iceland have got it back. Gudmundsson to Gylfi Sigurdsson, edge of the D, shoots, but it was blocked at source by the sliding defender, and the ball just looped through to Hugo Lloris.
Good block by Mangler in the end, as Gylfi Sigurdsson was looking to get his shot away. It's been fantastic for Iceland. Their first tournament, their first goal in a tournament, their first win in a tournament. They beat England in a tournament, out of the group stages, into the last 16. That's what they will remember. Yes, tonight it's a little bit disappointing. It's just a step too far for them, I think.
Yes, 5-1 down, and France going to make another change. Again, this is with the semi-final in mind, because the number 8 is shown, and that's Dimitri Payet, who is withdrawn and made sure that he's absolutely right, because he's certainly a player that France will need when it comes to the match against Germany. So Kingsley Coman comes on to replace him.
Huge ovation for Dimitri Payet from all the French fans in the stadium and the Icelandic fans as well. Clap and applaud him. I think they appreciate they've seen a fantastic player here this evening.
And here's Coman straight into the action with the ball on the left-hand side. Coman, who is spending 2 years on loan with Bayern Munich from Juventus, but did play here in Paris for Paris Saint-Germain. Ball out of play for a throw-in to the French. Everett to take it. Everett to Coman, who pulls the ball down, moves onto his right foot, and then plays it back into the central area, where it's all the way back to Mangala. Mangala playing as the left-sided central defender, so Umtiti has moved across to the right there. And Pogba then up towards Sissoko. Now it is back with Umtiti, winning his first cap tonight. Pogba square to the left-hand side now to Evra, and Evra, as the ball is returned to Matuidi on the halfway line. Coman is lent into by Gunnarsson, and we're going to see the final change for Iceland. And what a good move this is, I think. Ida Gudjonsson is going to come on for his second substitute appearance of the tournament. But they were saying when I was there one of these days, this last week or so, how important Ida Gudjonsson, with all of his experience, has been to the squad. He is a player in the squad, but they were saying he's like really a member of the coaching staff because of his influence and because of all of his experience. And he's got an enormous pair of shorts. Here's Evra on the left-hand side. Evra gets it back. And after that spirited first 20 minutes of the second half, it's rather gone to sleep again. Evra plays it through to Griezmann. Griezmann, as the latest Viking roar begins. I think that was a record hold between first and second roar.
That was a long pause.
That was a long pause. Coman now taking it onto the edge of the penalty area. This might last all the way to the end of the game, this Viking roar. Coman now does well, gets the crossover, took a little deflection, headed down by Ingarsson, and Iceland played away nicely to the halfway line to Gunnarsson. Now Gudmundsson forward towards Sigthorsson, who was tugged over, he was, by Mangala, and it's a free kick to Iceland. And we will now see Ida Gudjonsson coming onto the field. 37 years old, 38 in September. Played for 5 English clubs, you'll remember. Had great times with Chelsea and Barcelona. And now he comes on in what I'm sure will be his last international appearance before he retires from the game at this level. And he is roared on by the Icelandic hordes.
He's just been given the captain's armband as well. A fantastic honour for him.
So that would be great if he could get a goal against France in his final match. Here is Gylfi Sigurdsson, lays it off. Now the cross from the left-hand side, and it is headed down and in! And Bjarnason has got a second goal back for Iceland. Well, all credit to them. They have never given up in this game, even when they were 4-0 down at half-time. And now it's 5-2 to France.
Well, what a game. Absolutely. We thought it was going to be dead and buried at half-time. It was going to be the most boring second half we've ever seen. But it's been fantastic. First 20 minutes was up and at on both ends. It's a great header from Bjarnason at the back stick. Again, delivery was absolutely superb. Right into the corner of the net. I tell you what, if they got one more, it'd get a bit nervy,
Danny, stop it.
Dare to dream, John, dare to dream.
Here come France, coming forward, looking for their 6th. Coman, who lays it back across, looking for Gignac, but it was whacked away by Ingarsson, out of play for a throw into the French down the left-hand side. So that goal coming in the 84th minute. So 6 minutes plus added time to play. France 5, Iceland 2. The most goal-packed game of Euro 2016. We've done all right, you and me, haven't we? We saw the 3-3, Hungary and Portugal, and here now with 7 goals tonight. Possibly more to come. They'd love it, wouldn't they, if Iceland could get another goal. And with France easing up with the semi-final in mind, here's Griezmann through the middle, gets it back from Gignac. Griezmann plays it to Coman in the box on the left-hand side. Coman looking to curl it. He's back onto his left foot, shoots low, and Halldórsson is able to stop it and hold it with the long barrier down in front.
No, quite clearly, France are much the superior side, have clearly deserved to win this game. But you have to say, magnificent for Iceland, not just to get one, but to get a couple of goals and actually make a fist of it in the second half. You know, they have more than done themselves and their country proud in this tournament.
Here is Ida Gudjonsson, number 22, who is cruising around in the central third of the field, having come on as a substitute for Sig Thorsen. What a memorable tournament Sig Thorsen has had. He scored the first Iceland goal tonight, and of course scored the goal that turned out to be the winner against England. He could be a contender for the Order of the Falcon whenever that's handed out by the powers that be in Iceland. 5-2 the scoreline. Evra with the throw into the last 5 minutes of the match, and Coman playing it in field towards Sissoko. Now Griezmann takes it up. Now the shot is blazed well wide and high by Sissoko. That was a waste, with Griezmann waiting in the middle for the return ball.
Yeah, way over the bar. Got a little bit excited, leant back and blazed it, well, into almost the second tier in this huge stadium.
Gunnarsson driving forward with it, with that beard that must be absolutely soaked. What a ball that is from Gylfi Sigurdsson. It's crossed from the right hand side by Sævarsson, and it's blocked by Mangala as well, recovering. But what a ball from Gylfi Sigurdsson through the inside right position.
They've created opportunities in this game, haven't they? There was the unbelievable save from Hugo Lloris. There was the chance where from Sigurdsson's free kick that just dropped over Koscielny and almost caught Lloris by surprise.
Bert-Varsson had those chances in the first half. Corner then, Gudmundsson swings it in, takes a double deflection, and the final touch was off. French defender, says referee Kuipers. So a second consecutive corner. Well delivered set piece from Gudmundsson.
Set piece have been brilliant from both sides this evening. The delivery has been outstanding.
Gudmundsson just relegated with Charlton. Here it is, deep under the edge of the 6-yard box, and a downward header bounces up and wide from Ingarsson. They've certainly unsettled.
It's going to be a great game when you watch this back on the highlights this evening on Match of the Day. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. You know, there is loads of chances. It's been a fabulous game, and the second half has been brilliant. You know, even though it's 4-0 at half time, it's still been very entertaining, very exciting second half.
It has, and what a pleasant surprise that was. But you know, we shouldn't have doubted, should we, that Iceland would give us more entertainment at the tournament. Tomorrow night on 5 Live we'll have a special Euro 2016 Monday night club for you. On Tuesday night we've got a 5 Live Sports special planned, which is all about Wales's rise from 117 in the world to this Euro semi-final that they've got on Wednesday night. We'll have the commentary on that. 5 Live, the place to listen to Wales-Portugal, live from Lyon on Wednesday night, and Thursday night live from inside the stadium in Marseille, Germany against France. And France looking for a 6th goal, but the pass forward from Pogba is intercepted and it's cleared away by Halldórsson. Germany-France, incidentally, France have not beaten Germany in a competitive match for 58 years.
But Germany had never beaten Italy either, and that changed last night.
Yep, that's what these things are. They're made to be broken, aren't they? As a foul on Pogba, who complains about that as Gudjonsson then comes in and catches him, and Pogba, knowing that there's a semi-final to play later this week, has a little bit of a moan at the referee. We're almost into the 90th minute. The end is almost here for Iceland's European Championship campaign. Don't forget what they did in the group as well. You know, they were involved in the Netherlands finishing fourth and getting knocked out even before the finals. Iceland, who had such an impressive qualifying campaign as well, runners-up in that group that was won by the Czech Republic.
And it's bizarre, isn't it? The teams that we thought, when this tournament was expanded, you know, and the likes of Wales and Iceland, you know, hope that they might be able to get through because of that. No, they qualified because of their own right. You know, they're here on merit because they finished very, very well in their respective groups.
We're in the 90th minute now, and it is 5-2 to France. And that'll be it for Lars Lagerbäck as well. But he's watching his team defend. Griezmann to the edge of the area. He's on his right foot, but he's all left foot, and he turns into trouble in the middle. And Iceland will play it away up towards Gunnarsson, and the ball is deflected out of play for a throw-in to the French. He does amuse me, Lagerbäck, who will step down as the joint coach after this. 2 minutes of added time. The first question to him yesterday was, what was the feeling like for you, Lars, when you knocked out England? And he thought about it and he looked down, and in his deadpan way he said, I could compare it with something else, but I don't think I should do that here. And everyone laughed. And then he said, and it was a long time ago. Here is Iceland losing possession inside their own half. Gignac now chasing onto the ball, but across comes Ingarsson, who is able to take it away and play it forward towards Gunnarsson. Gunnarsson with that beard, and in this rain looks as though he might be walking out of the stadium into some sort of Viking longboat. Here's Bjarnason now on the left hand side, who also has a bit of a Nordic god about him. Now to the halfway line, and then back to Ragnar Sigurdsson. And the Iceland supporters, knowing that the final whistle is only a minute or so away, are now singing their songs. They might never experience anything like this before, although the way that they've played and the group that they're in for the World Cup qualifiers, they do stand a chance of maybe getting to Russia in 2 years' time. It is won back by France inside their own half. For the record, Iceland in a group with Croatia, Ukraine, Turkey, Finland and Kosovo. France with a ball right on the far side, and a cross-field pass from Sissoko to Gignac. Gignac now into the box, looking for Griezmann. Finds Griezmann. Shot on the turn is blocked behind near the corner flag. Eventually it sails out of play for a corner to the hosts.
Well, I think this might be the final action of the game. France in no hurry. Iceland have been well beaten, but they've done themselves proud in this competition. I think they will get a standing ovation probably from everybody, I would expect, and a round of applause from everybody in this stadium, including all the French fans.
Yes, the corner is tapped short, and the final whistle goes on Iceland's brilliant campaign. Their first appearance at a major tournament. France have beaten them 5-2. France are into the semi-finals to play Germany. What a match that is to look forward to in Marseille. But Iceland, by far the smallest country ever to compete at a European Championship or a World Cup for that matter. They've got the fact that they did so well in the group. Of course they've got that brilliant night against Nice and against England when they knocked out England. It's been quite a saga for Iceland, but it's over now. Beaten 5-2 by France.
Do you know what I love though, John? There's not been a clamour to swap shirts by any of the Icelandic players. They've all still got their own shirts on. Not one of them as yet has swapped shirts. You know, they are proud to wear their shirt, proud to be Icelandic, and rightly so.
Caroline, back to you across Paris.